like a large caramel macchiato with an extra shot and whipped cream, please.
Come again?
Wait, hold on. How much is that?
$4.85.
Okay, better drop the extra shot. What does that make it?
$4.20.
Better make it a small. What does that make it?
$3.30.
Better drop the whipped cream. What does that make it?
Less calories.
Oh my God, and he flew all the way to New York to tell me that. That's so romantic.
It's beautiful, really.
You're not even allowed to leave the state.
What's that now?
It's the Al Travis Show, and we're lucky to have our next guest on. He's Senator Aric Putnam. Senator Putnam, how are you, my friend?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm good. I can't complain. I say that. I spent all day yesterday complaining all about kinds of stuff going on in your world, the things that are driving me nuts. And I don't know if I want to play that game today. I found, of course, we ask people like you, senators, fabulously interesting questions. I have one of those from my 11 rapid fires, or I did find a story this morning that I'd love to find out your thoughts on. Can we just try the news story first? I don't know what
Whatever you want to do. I'm here. You're driving. I'm in the passenger seat.
All right. A Danish zoo will take your animals to feed the other animals. They call it the circle of life. So let's say you've got a little guinea pig, your kid used to raise rabbits, whatever, and they're getting a little old, a little feisty. This Danish zoo will take them and feed them to like pythons and the lions and stuff. And I thought to myself, how little care did you have for your animal its whole life? You thought, Duke, you're getting old, buddy. The zoo could use you. Could you donate, Aric, Senator Putnam, one of your animals to the zoo as food?
So, my first issue is postage. I don't want to mail Mr. Whiskerson all the way to Denmark.
Let's just say that.
Let's Circle of Life.
Let's go with the new zoo. I still call it the new zoo because it was a new zoo when it was made, and I was there. If the zoo in Minneapolis said we would take your animals, it would save us money. Evidently, it's good for the zoo animals because the zoo animals, instead of just throwing them like pieces of chicken that are ground up, that isn't natural for them. So you throw them the little dog out there, and evidently, as I understand it, they kind of dope them up a little bit so the animals can catch them easy. And Senator Putnam, in at least the Danish, they will give you a tax write-off.
Oh.
Now you interested?
Well, I got one more question for you that I got to sort before I can really make a commitment on this one. I'm
All
a
right.
politician after all, so I have to be careful.
Do it.
Does the animal have to be dead?
No, it can't be.
Well, some of we got too many dogs in my house, and one of them kind of annoys me a little bit. So, he's not at all well. He's not quite fully dead yet, but he's
It has to be alive, sir. This is the
it has
whole
to be
thing.
alive.
It has to be alive. This is the circle of life thing, so the pumas can figure out how to trade. Now, the pumas aren't told that your dog has been juiced a little bit, so it's a little foggy, you're not going to run so fast. They don't realize that. So this is not like true circle of life, but it lets the lions pretend they're capturing things. It's good for them.
Well, now that's kind of messed up. That's I was fine with it before that, but your kitten's got the sniffles. Well, that's it. I'm done. We're going to the farm.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
The farm, we're going to the zoo. They love it at the zoo. Here's mine. So I just had a beloved dog for 14, 15 years, whatever it was. She passed. And then you got to bring him to the vet, and you got to pay like $85 to have the vet get rid of him. Now, if I donated to the zoo, again, you got to get there early because the animal still has to be alive. But if you get there in time, I save $85. I get a tax write-off, and, Duke's circle of life. And you're not good. I just thought it was an interesting story. I don't know who would pull that off.
I got one more really important question for you. So,
all right.
One of our dogs has cancer right now.
Oh, no.
And so he just had his toe amputated because that's where it was. Do I get less of a tax break because it's not a complete dog?
You know what? Well, when they take cancerous dogs, I don't know if that's bad for animals or not. I suppose those are the ones they're catching in the wild. Oh, you had toe cancer in your dog? What is that? I've never heard of that.
It was wild. We thought it was an infection because his toe was really just big.
Gnarly.
So we did a couple rounds of antibiotics, and they took a look again. They're like, actually, no, it's cancer. But the good news is they got it.
Okay.
So it's not an especially aggressive kind, but he's still being a jerk about it because he's a happy dog, so he keeps ripping open his stitches, which is also like messy and expensive. It's the Well
They
done.
didn't get one of them collar jobbies, those little cone things. You got to make them wear the cone.
They do, but the problem is he just keeps jumping around, and he's big. He's 110 pounds, so he jumps up and down, comes down. He's got Spock foot right now, and so when he lands, anyway, that's gross. That's more detail than you need, but it's not great.
When I read the story, whether I think I want to use it in the air or not, I actually saw it on a national news organization as well. But I pulled the story, and I think, okay, with my 4 buddies, because we all think we hang with normal people, right? I don't know about you, but you think we're normal.
You're my group, friend, so I know that's not the case.
Other than you, I have these 4 guys who I've been hanging with since high school. 3 of us are normal. The other one was raised kind of on a farm area. He wasn't on a farm, but they lived out on a dirt road out in the farm area in Lindstrom, Minnesota. And I remembered that as a kid, he had a new dog, a farm dog, like every year. Because they'd run out on the road, get beaned. My friend does not make an emotional attachment to his pets at all. He's learned growing up as a kid that they last a year, maybe 2, you get lucky. You don't become attached. I believe my friend Paul would absolutely do this for the tax write-off because they mean nothing to him. Me, on the other hand, I'm crying like a schoolgirl driving my dead dog to the vet. He's already dead, and I got to pay $85, and I'm like, what are you going to do with her? What do I care? But so anyway, that's why I brought it up. You bet you didn't think this morning when I got up, Senator, you're going to talk about Danish zoo feeding animals stuff. You didn't see that coming, did you?
I had my staff prep me on it just in case.
Here's one for you from a Friends episode. This is from the 11 rapid fire questions. Who would you want to be trapped in an elevator with?
Oh, man.
Think about that.
Living or dead?
Doesn't matter to me.
I mean, obviously, you wouldn't want the dead person in the elevator with you, but I mean, like, throughout history, could you pick someone who was?
I think you can pick whoever you want that says something about you as well, alive and or dead.
So here's my thinking. I don't have a person yet, but I have criteria. And I'd want someone who was quiet. And who had
I'm out.
Had a pretty good personal hygiene regimen. Those would be my top 2.
This is what you worry about. All right, I'm going to go to break, let you think about it. We'll talk about it on the other side. It's real quick. I got him, Senator Aric Putnam, answering questions he never thought he'd get today.
There are many ways to explore Alexandria. Some like to experience the outdoors and all the fun winter in Minnesota can provide. Pick your favorite way to get in touch with nature. Others like to explore downtown in the warm comfort of a boutique or gathered around a table with friends. You can do all of that or relax and do nothing at all. Come explore Alexandria. Start planning at explorealex.com.
Tired of one-sided media and divisive noise drowning out your conservative values? Take back the conversation with Braver Angels. Join a grassroots movement to restore civility and find common ground without compromising your principles. As a conservative, your voice matters. Share your perspective on issues like immigration and public health in Red Blue workshops and help rebuild trust in our great nation. Be a leader in depolarizing America. Sign up for free at mn.braverangels.org. Braver Angels, where conservatives, liberals, and independents unite for a stronger republic. you kidding me?
You know that comment you said to the radio? The thing that we got wrong?
Clearly, Brussels sprouts are the worst vegetable.
Call us and let the world know your thoughts. 855-257-7469. That's 855-ALS-SHOW.
We've got Senator Aric Putnam on the program deciding who he'd like to be stuck in an elevator with. We know they're going to have good hygiene and they don't talk too much. Do you have a name for that person, Aric?
You know, I kind of do. I got two options here. They're both going to sound like I'm pandering, but I'm not. The first one, probably go with Obama because I think he smells nice.
He comes across as a man who smells nice. I'll give you that. I've never met him, but he just seems like a guy who's got a fresh scent.
I think so too. I think that he would probably be someone who would smell pretty good. I don't know why, but I think he probably, and he also is a politician, too used to talking. Would be fine being quiet for a while. But if I wanted someone I actually wanted to hang out with and have a real conversation, I got to go with my sort of political hero, George Carlin.
Oh, that would be fun. George Carlin would be a very good time. I was thinking about it. First off, you want to go biblical, then you go Jesus, and then the game's over, so I'm not doing that. But since I just had Richard Battle on a little bit ago, talk about Harry S. Truman, because I am a history kind of guy, I would absolutely love to sit and chat with him and say, how'd you pull the plug on that one? How'd you decide you're going to do it? I think it'd be a fascinating conversation.
I agree. That sounds cool.
All right. So anyway, cool game. Now I got to ask you at least one hard question throughout the day. This is stuff we were talking about yesterday. It's driving me a little crazy. So have we finally reached, and I know you're friends with Senator Gustafson. I got to stop calling people first name, Senator Gustafson, and the whole Office of Inspector General thing. You were a big backer of that.
Yeah,
so now that we have literally stopped the housing stability program, that was Friday, they decided they're going to stop it completely, not even try to, just not pay some people. It's stopped until we can figure out what's going on. To me, that means there must be a lot going on there because we've had other fraud. We didn't stop the program. Are we thinking now, sir, do you think now we can get that bill passed and get something done to stop this crazy? This is lunatic stuff.
I hope so. I don't remember if we talked about it yet, but my take on why it didn't actually pass was two parts. One, our GOP friends thought that it was expanding government and getting too big, which is a reasonable argument. And the other was that there were some interactions with existing fraud prevention measures at some of the agencies. And so my feeling was it was because of those two, at least in the Senate, those were the two kind of counter arguments against it.
Can I interrupt, Senator? Can I interrupt?
Yeah, sure.
But in the Senate, you must have worked your butt off. Even with that, you got it passed, 60-7, right? Some number. So even with those possible things we might have to tinker with the fix, they didn't even bring up the vote in the House. I find that weird. I find that almost ludicrous.
The House weird. I find the House weird, to be honest. But I don't know. You
can't be flippant that way and say that there's something else going on here, because at 60-7, you've got 80% of you on the Senate side say this is good enough, and they can't even get 50% on the House side. Something is wrong in it initially, and I'm going to throw out, and this makes me bad guy, I think there are actually people that like the system the way it is, that we think there's a problem, we throw massive money at it. Some people will get help. More people more than likely would take money from us, and it doesn't bother them. That's the only explanation I got.
Well, yeah, I pause on that one. I don't think anyone in government, even some of the folks who I think are the weakest, I don't think anyone's pro-fraud. I don't think anyone's like, yay, fraud, let's do more of it. Well,
Senator, let me put you on pause then.
Sure.
This program started 5 years ago with $2.6 million to help homeless people find housing. You didn't hear Al yell about it. Spend $2 million, get the homeless off the street, I'm good. Let's say there's 30,000 of them. I don't know how many there are. All right, let's go get them. No one complained. But within 5 years, it's $107 million, meaning there were either 40 times as many homeless people as we thought. No one has asked how many have now found housing since we did this, and someone was in charge of that program. What metric were they using? And that's what I mean by not caring. There's a human, a guy, gal, I don't know, at the Department of Human Services. Hey, guess what? We got another $50 million for next year. We're 107 next year. I think they pride themselves in the amount of money can go out the door, because we don't know how many. Are we done with the homeless now? Are we fixed? Can we cut that budget out? No one has a metric for that, and I find it hard to believe.
I think you're right about that part of it, and it's not just the agency thing. I think it's also a lot of legislators who can celebrate themselves and say, "Look, I put this much money towards solving this problem." That we do that more than we do. I solved that problem.
See, so and that was my
say like, "Oh, look,
That was my point. I presume there's a committee that gets together on both the House and Senate side that have this line item in the budget somewhere. And no one said, how'd it go up by 40%, or 400%, 4,000%, what, 40 times as much? How did it go up? And are we solving it? And no one asked the question? That's amazing to me. That's why I say I don't think people care. And then you brought up the price of this, your budget. I think, if I'm not mistaken, tell me I'm wrong, $9 million for us to make this Office of Inspector General. You don't spend $9 million to protect the $66 billion y'all put out there?
It's like preaching to the choir.
Well, that's what
this is a good thing.
Oh, so do I. And I'm like, if that's honestly what a Republican's going to tell me, I say, you're nuts. You're nuts because, and I would use this, Senator Putnam, and I think you and I, did we talk about ugly naked guy last year? And I don't know if he's ugly or not. Naked guy from the Capitol?
No, I don't know. We haven't talked about that yet.
All right, naked guy gets in the Capitol, and you're not looking at me because you're driving down the road. I'm holding up the $2.50 rubber stopper that we use to keep the doors open here in the studio.
Sure. Yeah.
This is what the mastermind used to get into the Capitol. Now, we spent $250 million polishing up that Capitol just, 5-10 years ago? And we didn't come up with a way of stopping a guy with a $2.50 rubber door stop? That can't even be true. Somebody doesn't care about their job. Whoever was in charge. That's ridiculous to me.
Well, I promise I won't do it again.
What?
It was late at night. I just
can you tell me this, Putnam? Can you tell me this, Putnam? Will you all at least get what's his name? The president,
Bobby Joe.
Allen. Bobby Joe, champion. Will you please get him a new chair? The only thing we know about the guy in the Senate when he's sitting in Bobby Joe's chair, that guy dresses too dang nice to put his nice suit on that man's used chair. Can we get him a new chair?
Yeah, and I think we need to have a ceremonial burning of the old chair. Like that chair is. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to send that chair to the zoo and just let
the gorillas just play with it. I don't think that's a bad idea.
Let the circle of life take its course.
And I don't know, you're a much younger man than I. My grandmother back in the day, and this had to been late 60s, early 70s, got new furniture in the living room, and she had that plastic stuff, that covered, so you could see it, but it felt horrible to sit on a hot day. I think all Senate furniture needs to be covered with that.
Well, it fits given our age.
You remember.
That's actually spot on.
Am I wrong? You want to sit on that? We have to do something. I guess my only point is, at some point, somewhere in the government, somebody's got to say, we got to try harder. And what I get by this in my last minute with you, I was scared to death when I woke up the day of the shootings. A lot of you guys I consider my friends coming on this program. I was scared to death. I sent texts out. Hey, are you okay? Have you heard what's going on? I do care. Hoffman is a great friend of this program. And then as soon as all that gets sorted out after the shootings, we start talking about what are we going to do to the Capitol? We got to put gun detectors in and all this other stuff. And it's all talk. Because 6 weeks later, a guy with a $2.50 wedge gets in. You, Senator Putnam, Hoffman, your families deserve better. And I think we spent enough money at $250 million. We have get a key system. You deserve better because I'm scared for all of you. And I'm telling you, even if we say we got it fixed 6 months from now, somebody's going to be bored out of the gourd and not doing their job. And you're the one who's going to pay the price. It's just sad to me.
I totally appreciate that. I think what happened in this case, one of the things that happened in this case, and the issue with security in the Capitol in general, is you have too many damn doors. There's too many ways to get into the building. So that's one thing that I know they're talking about, and I'm not sure where they are at the decision point, but they're going to restrict the points of access to the Capitol, so there's only a couple doors that people have to watch. Because right now there's like 37.
All right, let's say that's
one step in the right direction. It's not, great. It's good.
I got a friend, a cabin up north, right? He put in a security system, and it goes off, and all the doors and all the windows have little two magnet things, and if the magnets aren't touching, then the windows open or the doors open, and he gets a call down in the cities. He put that in his cabin. He's cheap. I know it didn't cost much. You can have 37 doors, and if the doors aren't closed, it should send some warning to somebody. This isn't that complicated. Plus 37 doors, let's say it's 50. We're not paying Bob, the night watchman, at 5 o'clock whenever you close it. Wander around the building. Make sure they're all closed. Check each one, please. It's going to be boring, but that's what we do. Is that asking too much for your safety?
No, I mean, like, I've been there at 4 a.m. a bunch of times, and there's always someone cleaning something. So it's not like the building's totally empty. But I don't know about the actual security provisions. And maybe we talked about this before, but, like, I don't want to work in a castle. I don't want the taxpayers to pay to build us a castle because it has to be accessible. But
no, and I agree. 8 to 5, but at 5 o'clock or whatever, we lock the dang doors. Aric, Senator Putnam, I got to fly. We're out of time. Appreciate you being here, my friend. Safe travels.
Every time. Good, yeah. Thanks.